My 25 male wife 27 female, and I recently had a rapport in 3, and things aren't going well. So there's a lot to unpack here. So I am sorry if this is really long. Before I get started, I want to list out the things I want to get advice on so that you keep that in mind while reading. Thank you for taking the time to read this and giving me your unbiased input. 1. Am I being too selfish? 2. Am I being unfair? 3. Am I completely in the wrong? What can I do to make her understand me better? My wife and I have been together for 9 years, and we recently got married last month. Back in August, we had talked about the possibility of a rapport in 3. She mentioned she wanted to try it with a girl. Then I brought up that I think it would be cool to try it with a guy for her. Not me. Fast forward to our wedding night. We were both very drunk at the end and somehow invited one of my friends to the hotel. We did the deed. Although we all agreed we were too drunk to comprehend much of it. So we decided to go another round the following weekend. A bit less intoxicated. It was great all around. We all had a great time. So we decided to try it again the following weekend. This is where things started to go wrong. After this session, I realized she was way more aroused by him than me. I get it though. This is her only other experience other than me. That's not why I am upset hurt. What bothered me was that I asked her what her favorite part was. She said it was giving her head without me doing anything. That bothered me because she's told me in the past that she doesn't like giving head all that much. So to me, that just means she doesn't like giving me head. There was also a point that night where I told her to go get my friend from the living room. He couldn't get it up, and I told her to bring him back. By whatever means necessary so we could continue with the night. However, 8 minutes later and no one came back. I came out and she was giving him head on the couch. At the time, I didn't mind and just went and joined in. Later I realized that they had both forgotten about me and continued doing their own thing. I decided to speak to her about how I felt, and she did agree that she had been messing up. I told her that I've been having fun throughout all of this. But I needed reassurance from her outside of the rapport in 3 that I am still her priority. After that point, I tried initiating something with her during the week. But she kept saying she wasn't in the mood. The following weekend, we didn't hang out with my friend. But the two of us did finally do it. The next week, it was her time of the month. So obviously nothing was going to happen, which I am okay with. That weekend though, we went to an event with our friends. And my friend from the rapport went. The next morning, we decided to give it a try. But my wife said she didn't want to do anything. However, she said she wouldn't mind giving us head. Then, the following week, we went to another event together. That night, she said the same thing. It was still during her week. But he ended up leaving early before anything happened. What got me thinking was that she always says she never wanted to give me head while she was on her week because she couldn't get anything in return. However, she offered it twice in 1 week for the both of us. We did it again this past weekend. And again, it was a great time for everyone. However, I just can't get it out of my head that said she doesn't like giving head that much and she doesn't like it especially during her week. But what she does when he's around is totally different. We've been married for 6 weeks. We've done it 5 times in a rapport in 3 and once just us. In my eyes, I feel like we should have done it way more, just the two of us during the weekend than just 1 time in 6 weeks. I've brought this up to her a few times now. I've tried holding it in at times. But she can tell something is wrong with me. So she presses me. The first time I told her, she said she understood where I was coming from. A couple of weeks passed. Nothing changed. I brought it up again and she got mad, saying why I kept bringing it up if I supposedly said I am over it. She then felt bad and decided to try and mend our relationship. She took me on date night. And that's the night we finally had sex for the first time together, week 4 of our marriage. Today though, I screwed up. I started thinking about the whole head thing this morning. She took me out on another date night. And after drinking a bit, I just blurted out everything I felt. She got furious at me for ruining date night. I agree that I messed up. I should have told her earlier or waited until after date night. But we were talking about the whole thing overall, and I just started saying something, and it just avalanched into all my thoughts and feelings. She's mad because I keep bringing it up. She said it's my fault because I am the one who initiates the rapports in 3. So I shouldn't be getting mad at her afterwards. I tried explaining to her that it wasn't the rapport I was upset about. It was the lack of attention I was giving as a husband for my wife. By then it was too late and we was too mad. I really don't know what to do right now. That's why I am typing this message out. And before anyone says anything, I know she loves and cares about me with her heart. This is just a new experience. And she's too wrapped up in it. She's just not understanding my feelings is my guess. That's what I need advice on. I am sure I missed some details. But this is all my brain can handle right now. If you've gotten this far, thank you for reading. Hopefully something good comes out of all of this. So this isn't necessary for you guys to go to therapy. This is a tough situation you've got yourself in, and it seems like you're having a lot of trouble communicating about it. What I'm most struck by though and think is a major red flag nobody is talking about. Rapports in 3 on your wedding night. The night you guys celebrate your union and love, and you guys wanted to try out making it a group thing. Baffled. What the duck? Nightmare fuel. If you want to have a chance to salvage your marriage, you must stop the rapports in 3 immediately. And never start them back up. That friend you've been having them with, you're going to have to cut him out of your life. Then go to marriage counseling. Counselor, we all go through difficulties in marriage. It's totally normal. And I'm here to help. How long have you guys been married? A week. Counselor Pikachu face. Sometimes the marriage counseling helps the divorce go easier. So you started out your marriage with a rapport in 3. That is messed up. From what I've learned on here, things pretty much always go south when people open up the relationship or start threesomes when the relationship has always been monogamous. You might as well annul the marriage. I don't think you can come back from this. Second story. My female 22 boyfriend, male 25, is emotionally close with the woman female 24 we had a rapport in 3 with. Is this a red flag? My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 3 years and we're currently doing long distance while I finish up undergrad. He is an absolutely wonderful person. He is dedicated towards his goals, constantly learning, working out, and he values family. However, sometimes he gets anxious and indecisive. He vacillates between which city he wants to live in when we move out. And he hops jobs less than a year after being in them. He tends to err on the selfish side of things when it comes to compromising. Although he has compromised for me in the past. Like when he stayed in town a few months after he graduated so we could be close together. So, when he told me he wasn't sure about committing to our relationship for another year of long distance, we chalked it up to anxiety and indecision. It's normal for 25-year-olds to have commitment issues when things start getting real. Especially when it will be hard to keep it up. But we both decided that we could be together if I was the one coming to visit him every weekend. He said he was too busy to come visit me 1.5 hour drive, so I understand, but that he still wanted to be with me. Our first year of being together, he introduced me to this woman. My boyfriend and this woman grew up in the same area going to the rock climbing gym together. So they've known each other since they were around 13. I'd guess. I thought their relationship was nothing more than gym friends. So when my boyfriend and I discussed the potential of a rapport in 3 with her, I wasn't opposed. I am bisexual, and it was something I wanted to try at the time. Especially because I didn't see there being any long-term repercussions with it being casual, and them not being super close. I only remember having a rapport in 3 with her 3 times. But he says it happened 5 times. I only wanted us to do oral stuff with her. And we established those boundaries beforehand. But one time when we were in the middle of it and I was tipsy, I said he could have X with her. That was my first big mistake. I still see that image in my mind and it makes me feel nauseous. Definitely figured out that monogamy is for me. We stopped hooking up with her and distanced ourselves over COVID. However, my boyfriend has expressed how he likes having X with other people. He suggested that we have X with other people while we did long distance this year, so it would be easier for him because he gets lonely. You can imagine that didn't go over well. But because I wanted to better understand where he was coming from, I did a whole bunch of research on open relationships and polyamory. That just reaffirmed to me how much I don't want that. I feel like one relationship is enough to meet all the needs and put in work. When there are other relationships, it detracts from the value of the primary in my opinion. So here's the main issue. After he told me he was lonely and wanting to be with other people, I wanted to see if he was already messaging people. Because I had caught him sending SXY pictures to a woman over Snapchat in past. I wasn't entirely trusting of him. So I checked his messages while he was asleep. I am very ashamed of this. I should have just asked. Turns out he was airing all our dirty laundry and getting emotionally intimate with 2 other women who he has hooked up with in the past. Including the woman we hooked up with. They live in the same town. They go to the same gym. I told him when he woke up that I saw their messages and that it hurt me how he had talked to them about our relationship. I believe relationship issues should be worked though with your partner. And that complaining to others only undermines the relationship and distracts from the issues at hand. He said he needed someone to talk to and that the women were good at caring about his feelings. Unlike his male friends, he has continued his close platonic relationship with this woman for the past few months. They text and hang out. He said they haven't spent much time together. Yesterday when I saw his location was at a bar within walking distance of his apartment on a Sunday at 9 p.m. before a workday. I got suspicious. Especially since we cut our hangout short earlier that day so he could get stuff done. I tried to FaceTime him to see if he would pick up and say hey and show me who he was with. But he didn't pick up. This was my second big mistake. I called the bar asking about their descriptions to see if he was there with her. Ducking crazy. I know. My heart was beating so hard the whole time and I felt so guilty. Instead, they went straight to them and said there was someone asking about their descriptions. So embarrassing. He proceeded to call me outside of that bar. With her nearby. I admitted it was me who called. And we talked about it. I also asked if I could apologize to her for making the whole situation weird, so he handed her the phone. I apologized. And she said she understood and that she thinks we have bad communication. Partially true. I also asked her if their relationship was just platonic and she hesitated and said yes. Well, yes. What? If it's not, then why was my boyfriend telling me it was? It seems weird to be platonic after having X, but maybe that's just me. They proceeded to stay at his apartment for 2 hours afterwards until she left and we called again. This is where I need advice. My gut feeling is telling me it's not platonic. Normally when you have friends of the opposite X, you don't complain about your relationship to them unless you're trying to give them an in right. My boyfriend has admitted they have a special connection and he is strongly opposed to any boundaries I try and set on their relationship. What should I do? I am thinking it's a normal and okay boundary to set where I ask him not to discuss our relationship issues with her. But he said that he thinks that's unfair. We were planning on moving out in 6 months and getting an apartment together, and I really wanted to have a future with him. So this is very upsetting. Too long didn't read. Can men be just friends with a woman they've had X with? Is it irrational to want to keep relationship issues between those in the relationship? Is emotional cheating enough of a cause to end a relationship? They are not in a platonic relationship since they have had X multiple times. He's having X with her still. Of course she would cover for him. She doesn't want the drama, and he is her friend, not yours. Why would they stop having X? It's a can of worms bringing someone else into a relationship, but it taught you that you don't want that type of lifestyle. Life lesson learned. Hopefully. He's made it clear he can't do the long-distance relationship because he's lonely. A lot of people can't do long-distance relationship, including myself. You can't trust this man. He's not going to stop chatting up other women. Don't be a placeholder that he strings along. This long novel of a post is a joke. Right. You can't seriously be this naive and ignorant about the world. Your boyfriend stuck his duck in another woman. And you are having trouble determining if their relationship is platonic or not. I am sorry. But what the heck is wrong with you? How did your radar get so knocked out of whack that you are confused in this situation? Just end this disaster of a relationship. And stop being so naive about X. Stop trying to convince yourself that it's somehow completely disconnected from emotions. That it's just a purely physical act. Like a dentist cleaning your teeth. You're just going to get hurt if you don't wise up. Third story. Caught between a rapport in 3 and friendship. So I went to a night party, and since it's COVID it was an informal house party sleepover which turned a bit R-rated during a game of truth and dare. Now the bottle was pointed to this friend who was dating another friend who was also present, and he was asked who would he pick for a rapport in 3. Now mind you, it was an open question. Prick could have taken a celeb name, but no, he looks point blank at me and says my name. Eerie silence. I glance nervously at his GF, and she has a shocked hurt expression, rightly so, and I just laugh it off with a stupid joke, you can't handle us together, while winking at her to ease the tension, but oh my god, since then it's been awkward with her. And today I texted her something random, and she hasn't replied. While the guy, her boyfriend, sent me random pictures of how his day is going. I want things to go back to normal. So what do I do? Do I breach the topic with her? Do I ask the guy to talk it out with her? Do I stop talking to the guy? Although he's my friend too, and we've all been friends for the same amount of time. I don't even know how I get caught up in such BS without any effort. Please help a girl out with maintaining her friendships. Stop talking to homeboy for the time being and talk to her about how you felt about that situation, and that it came out of left field for you too, and that you sympathize with her. Explain that you were trying to brush off his comment and tried to ease the tension. I doubt she picked up on that though, to be honest. She probably went tunnel vision. I would if my BF said that. That was beyond crappy of her boyfriend to say that, and has now put her in a really uncomfortable spot of feeling insecure. If her friendship means anything to you, I would definitely only communicate with her from this point forward and not talk to her BF. Hopefully she can feel secure enough in your friendship to know that nothing would ever happen. And if you feel comfortable enough in your friendship with her boyfriend, I would definitely call him out on that comment and how inappropriate it was. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.